And here's another look, looking at previous cycles, right? And looking at a drawdown period and the bull market period, or the parabolic bull market period. And you could see, we're entering, no, we have entered already. I've said this coming off from bottom. We already entered the next bull market. We just haven't seen the parabolic rise yet, but we will, just like all previous cycles, right? So regardless of Gary, regardless of spot Bitcoin ETFs being approved this year or next year, right? It's going to be phenomenal, but Bitcoin will regardless be phenomenal because Bitcoin never had spot Bitcoin ETFs before. So Bitcoin doesn't depend on whether or not spot Bitcoin is here or exists, because Bitcoin will continue forward being a dominant asset and will just keep going and going and going and going. Now, here's another one. Okay, looking at Bollinger Band, I know this is harder to see, but Bitcoin has just hit the bottom of the Bollinger Band. The width is the lowest since July of 2020. And last time this happened was back when, yes, Bitcoin was going sideways. It was kind of boring, right? And then it went on a huge, huge run. Now, do I anticipate we're going to have a huge run like that, in 2020 and 2021? Probably not, because we haven't had the halving event occur yet. But again, part of the reason why I call 2024 the quadfecta year is because one of those four reasons is the Bitcoin halving event, right? So again, this is coming. And the last point I want to make is this. Just look at the number of hold or lost coins, right? You put them together and look at that. It just keeps climbing and climbing and climbing and climbing, right? There have been enormous amount of Bitcoin loss over the years, but now you add to that number, I should say, number of from hodlers, and that number is exploding. Okay, so stay strong, my friends. Today, overall, still, a little bit in the green, not much movement. I know it can be boring, right? But hang in there. Better days are coming, and we all need to stand up against Gary Gensler. Welcome back to CryptosRus. I am George. We're all George. So what is going on with the SEC and Gary Gensler? Look at this. Look at what happened yesterday. 2 Bitcoin spot ETFs were delayed months ahead of their deadline. So ARK Invest and 21 shares Bitcoin spot ETF, both were scheduled to be decided November 11th. And the SEC decided to delay the decision already in September. What is going on? Why did Gary do this? This makes some analysts question whether or not a Bitcoin spot ETF will come this year. In fact, Bloomberg anticipated that there's a 75% chance that a Bitcoin spot ETF will be approved this year and 95% chance for next year. But now they're reevaluating the odds because of this move. So why did Gary do this? Well, it could be because he's retaliating from this. You have House lawmakers, you have 4 Congress people that asked Gary Gensler for immediate approval of spot Bitcoin ETF. And their reason is Gary Gensler doesn't have any good reasons to deny spot Bitcoin ETFs. So this actually came out also yesterday, which is very, very good, right? When you have Congress people that's agreeing with the normal people who think that Bitcoin spot ETFs should exist. And Gary Gensler really has no good reason to deny them. So you have 4 lawmakers that came out with this, and maybe this is the reason why Gary decided to do this. In retaliation, he is, putting his foot in the ground and saying, no, I don't care what you guys say or think. I'm going to do what I want, right? maybe that's the reason. Okay. So why does Gary think he has the authority to do this? Well, he does believe that crypto assets are covered under security laws that was enacted in 1930s. Keep in mind, okay, 1930s, we did not have crypto. So to put it into this category, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Crypto does not behave like anything else out there. But, Gary Gensler is saying, well, it doesn't matter. It's under security laws, right? And then he believes that compliance or regulatory requirements, right, of course, need to put into place. And even with intermediaries, what does that mean? Well, that means exchanges, brokers, wallets, anything that deals with crypto also falls under this law, according to Gary, okay? According to Gary. So this is the reason why Gary thinks that he has total control over everything, because he believes, well, at least in his head, he puts everything under security laws, and security laws are mandated and enforced by the SEC. So that's why he wants to take control of everything, right? So what's the bottom line? Well, the bottom line is this. A spot Bitcoin ETF may not be approved this year. I still think this will be delayed, or all the applicants would be delayed until next year, around March, because that's the final deadline for all these applications. So I think Gary is going to keep delaying. So I don't think we're going to get any this year. But who knows? Maybe something else changes, and we do get some spot Bitcoin ETFs approved. It would be absolutely monumental if that happens, right? But I do think it's going to come next year. And next year, my friends, is the quadfecta. That's when we have the halving event. And that's when things go on a parabolic run, like it always has. Here's a really clear picture of what happened between 2014 and 2018, and then 2017 to 2021, and 2021 going up to 2025. You could see how there's a lot of similarities. They don't match exactly, but they rhyme, right? We almost have the same peak period, same bottom period, right? The recoveries are not the same and the drawdowns are not the same, but overall, we're moving according to plan, right? But of course, this cycle, there's many things happening that we have never seen before, right? Including institutions coming in and wanting their Bitcoin spot ETFs, right? That's just one example. There's so many other things that's happening in the space that never existed in previous cycles, right? So this is why I've been saying it's time to be greedy, not time to be fearful. This is definitely time to be accumulating, right? Not time to be thinking about selling. In fact, last night, I met someone that told me that, yeah, she is invested in Bitcoin and crypto. She was thinking about selling at this point. I'm like, no. This is definitely not time to be fearful, not time to be thinking about selling. This will be an absolute worst time for that, right? Unless, I don't know, a situation, maybe she really needed it. But yeah, if you're looking at this, why would you be selling now, missing out on a 400%, 450% gain and a 2,200% gain?